Protests continued across major universities in America, with one lawmaker saying that the anti-Israel sentiment stems from Marxism. Here's One America's Nathaniel Manor.
Even though school's out for the summer, that hasn't stopped pro-Palestine demonstrators from pressuring their colleges to divest from Israel. Now, both Columbia and UCLA students recently set up encampments again after police had to shut them down due to concerns that they were intimidating and blocking Jewish students from moving across campus. We're here to unpack this for us is Congressman Burgess Owens. Congressman Owens, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Looking forward to chatting with you, my friend, for sure.
All right. So one of your top issues, obviously, in Congress has been combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, particularly since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war. Can you talk about the work that you've done to protect Jewish students on campuses?
Well, I'll say this. I'm very, very proud to be part of a committee that has now been prioritized by our conference. China, the budget, and education was where we came into this conference. And we have Dr. Fox, who's doing a remarkable job of exposing our country to what we're up against. What we're seeing on the college campuses it's just not out of the blue. It didn't just happen overnight. This has been a decades-old attack on our American system by something called DEI. It's anti-Semitism because it's all based on the fact that you have oppressed and oppressors. This is not the American way. And what we're finding out on these campuses are kids who have no idea what the American system is all about, have no appreciation for the American culture, and we're finally seeing it, so we're going to do something about it. And as long as the Republican Party is in power, is the majority, we will get our country back to where our kids are not the major national security issue. Our kids, when they do not understand the American way, they become Marxists, they become anti-Semites. This is not our future, and we'll not stand for it. So we're looking forward to making a big change and continue to educate the American people.
And yeah, and speaking of actions, we've seen over the last couple of weeks or so that there have been several GOP senators urging Joe Biden to actually send in the National Guard to break up these encampments. Now, they claim that this is very similar to when President Eisenhower deployed the National Guard to keep the Little Rock Nine safe in Arkansas. Do you believe this is the best way to combat these anti-Israel encampments, or is there possibly a better solution out there?
Well, there's a couple of things. We need to deal with it as we're speaking right now. That might be the best way of doing it. Keep in mind, I grew up in the 60s, so I know what it is to face hatred, the KKK, to be one of the first to integrate schools. And this is exactly what Black Americans went through, is what Jewish Americans are facing now. And it comes down to a national awareness that we're up against something that is really damaging our culture, and having leadership. And this is where the Biden administration needs to be fired. These people are stoking the fire of hatred by not allowing these young people to understand what accountability is. Only when we have accountability will people start to slow down, think about their future, and not to go out and destroy and intimidate others. And intimidation, hatred is not who we are. We got rid of it back in the 60s. We need to get rid of it again. And that comes from not only within, but making sure we do not invest in places like Qatar, which is where we're now having our universities taking money from. And that's where anti-Semitism is being stoked and built in so many ways. So we have two ways we have to go at it. Pulling the money back, by the way, is one thing we will defund as we get to understand this more, but we will have the tools in our quiver to make sure this ends as soon as we have more control in the House and the Senate and President Trump.
We've also seen apparently Biden's top donors have also been donating to these encampments. But do you think that these encampments, these protests, do you think they could escalate going into the next semester at all?
In terms of what's happening in encampments, they're going to keep it going as long as they can. These are people who are not looking for solutions. Understand what the Marxist ideology is. It's about destruction. It's fear. It's divisiveness. That's all it is. Nothing they're doing right now is going to bring us together. What's going to bring us together is the American people changing the direction of our country, getting the right leadership that gets us back to becoming a more perfect union. That's going to happen with President Trump, number one. And number two, we need to, as a Congress, we're going to start holding these colleges accountable. If they cannot control and do the right things and give us a good product, we need to defund. Bottom line, it doesn't matter how long they've been around, what kind of reputation they have. If their products is hatred, debt, no vision of our future, then we'll find those institutions that can teach our kids the right way and fund those instead. This is where we have to be. It's called meritocracy, and it's about the product. And our product has to be our kids coming out who we're very proud of, who can get along and move forward to a much better future.